Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria, and in today's video I'm going to teach you how to make this little Kirby guy. He is completely no-sew, super small, market friendly. This will be a beginner friendly tutorial, but I recommend knowing the basic crochet stitches. And if you are a complete beginner and you have no idea what those are, I will link a few helpful tutorials that helped me out when I was first starting. So, some materials you'll need: 3 different colors of pink. The blush color is optional. You can, I recommend doing the blush. It makes him look more cartoony and more like Kirby. But you can also use acrylic yarn for this, and also feel free to embroider his little eyes. So you'll need hot pink, light pink, and then more of like a blush of like salmon type pink. You'll also need a 5mm crochet hook, but if you're using something like Sweet Snuggles Light or Premier Parfait Plush, use a 6mm or really whatever you're comfortable with. I'm using a 5mm. You'll need a little darning needle, and then a stitch marker, and then stuffing. And as I said, you can embroider your eyes. I'm going to be using a few oval eyes from this pack that I got. Yeah. So we are going to start with our magic ring. I personally like to do the chain 2 method, but you can also make a real magic ring. So we're just going to make a little slip knot, chain 2, and then we are going to place 8 single crochets in our magic ring. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. Then we're going to pull our little thing a bit loose, just so we don't lose our stitch. And then we are going to tug the magic ring shut. It is important that you don't go too hard, but firm enough to not snap the yarn, but make sure the circle is super tight, because otherwise, if it's not tight, your crochet will just completely unravel, and then stuffing will start coming out. For round 2, we are going to place an increase in every single stitch, so this will come out to 16 stitches. So you're going to place 2 single crochets and mark that first stitch that you just went into. And then I'm going to do an increase in every single stitch around. Okay, so now we should have this nice circle shape. We're going to place a single crochet in the first stitch and put our stitch marker right back in there. Next, we are going to do 2 rounds of just 1 single crochet in every single stitch. We're just going to single crochet around. Okay, so we're going to be crocheting the arms in this round. So this single crochet will count as our first stitch of the round. So we're going to place 1 more single crochet in both loops. And in this, I'm going to get a little closer so you can see. We're going to be placing the single crochet right in the front loop, so you still have the back one to go into next round. I use my needle for this to make it a little easier to see. So we want to crochet, there are 2 loops of a crochet stitch. It's a little hard to see because my camera isn't that great and my yarn's fluffy. But we want to, focus, we want to crochet in this stitch, right here if I can. This stitch, leave this one alone. We're going to crochet into that next round to make the arms stick out a little bit more. So this one, right here. So we're just going to crochet, a single crochet here, right? And then we are going to chain 2 And then we're going to do a half double crochet into the first chain. We're going to ignore this one, go into this one, do a half double crochet into that loop. And then we are going right back into that front loop. Then we're going to slip stitch in there. And then we're going to do 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I'm going to repeat that same process. So front loop only, I'm going to do a single crochet into that, and then we're going to do chain 2, yarn over, do our half double crochet in that second chain from the hook. I almost said first. And then we're going to slip stitch back into that front loop. Now he has little arms. Then we're going to single crochet 5 right back to where we started. Now he has his little arms. Okay, so now we're going to single crochet in every single stitch. So we have our 2. Now I'm getting close yet again. We are going to crochet in our little back loop. So this, it might be a little hard to see, but if you really can't tell, just pull kind of the arm up, and where that little hole is, you kind of just want to crochet like right there, right in that back loop. Find the middle of the arm and crochet in the loop directly behind there. And that helps me find that. And then we are going to skip this stitch and go directly into this one, because that one's not part of the arm. I'm going to crochet across as normal. Okay, same thing, find the hole right there, find the back loop. And then I'm not going into this stitch, we're going to this one. Oop. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to add our bobble stitches in this round. So we are going to crochet 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, but as you make that 4 single crochet, keep both of the loops on your hook. Do not pull through with pink yarn, because instead I'm going to color change into hot pink. So leave just a little bit of a tail, and I like to just pull it like that, and then pull through with your pink yarn, just like this. And then we're going to do a 4 double crochet bobble. So you should have 5 loops on your hook. So we're going to do this, we're going to double crochet, but when you are about to pull through, instead you're going back into that stitch. Pull through the two loops. Now we have 2 double crochets, 3 loops. Then we're going to go into our loop again, 4 loops, pull through 2, 5, and then do not pull through with our hot pink yarn. Instead, we're going to grab that end and pull through with your light pink yarn, and then pull on the tail that we left when we color changed, just to make the stitch a bit tinier and to keep your tension in your stitches consistent. Then I'm going to single crochet 3 more, 2, 2, 3, and on that third stitch, leave your loops again. And then instead of fastening off on this one, I'm just going to take that end that's still connected, pull through with that, and then same thing, 4 double crochet bobble. So there's 1, 2 loops, 2, 3 loops, 3, 4 loops, and then 5 loops on our hook, 4 double crochet bobble. And then take that pink strand again, pull over. Okay, so now we are just going to cut the hot pink yarn, and we are going to crochet into the remaining stitches, which will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. And here is what your Kirby should be looking like so far. For this next round, this will be the last round, and we are going to just be decreasing in every single stitch. So we want to go into the front loop of 2 stitches and then a single crochet. So pull through both the loops, have 2 on your hook, only 2. And then you're going to single crochet as normal. This is your first stitch. But before we get too far into, before we close it up too much, we want to place our safety eyes. So here we go. We want to make sure the eyes are between the legs. To make sure they're very close together, so they should be about right there. You can make sure that's even. I think that looks okay. And you want them to be about 1.5 stitches apart. Maybe that's 2 stitches. I can't really tell. Oop, camera's not focusing again. There we go. So yeah. So we're going to add the backings, but you can also embroider the eyes. I recommend using the oval eyes because the character itself has oval eyes, and if you just use circle ones, he doesn't really look like himself. It kind of just looks like a pink little ghost, I guess. So we're just going to fasten up safety eyes, twist it. Be careful, because I wasn't careful. Make sure that your eyes are even, because I don't really think mine are. Can't tell. They kind of are. You have to be very careful with your eye placement sometimes. It can be very, very tricky. Okay, so since the eyes are placed, we can finish the Kirby. So now we are going to just decrease in every single stitch. Just going through 2 front loops. And then since we do have 8 stitches left, take your stuffing, and a little tip for stuffing is make sure you pull it apart to make it less clumpy, and so that way your plushie, it'll be stuffed more evenly, but also fibers will get literally all over your desk. You can't really see it because I moved to a different desk instead of mine, but it gets all over my mouse pad, literally everywhere. Just depends on your stuffing, but pull your stuffing apart to make the plushie more even. And then we're just going to stuff him pretty firmly. Yeah, and also your stuffing can also really mess with your eyes, so it's important to go, I just like to put my thumb in there and find the end of your safety eye, like the little kind of sharp part of it, and mess around with it, because otherwise your eye placement will start to like look weird and bulky. And your stuffing can also push out your safety eyes if your backings aren't big enough. So that's also something to watch out for too. Stuff. Okay. So here we go. And I don't like sewing holes that are this big because I feel like it just doesn't look too good. So I'm going to place an additional 2 decreases to make it 6 stitches. So that's 1. And that is 2. That way the hole's a little smaller. And then, yeah. Okay, so you are going to cut a nicely sized tail. Not too much, because you don't want to waste too much of your yarn, but enough to pull it and weave in your ends. I'm going to get a little bit more stuffing here. Put that in there. Okay, cool. And then you're going to take your needle, thread it with the yarn, and keep going into those front loops of your stitch and closing it together. And then I like to push on him, because sometimes it'll kind of like create a little, you can't really see it too well, but it'll like to pull down. And then I also like to push it like through around the middle and up to the top, and then kind of pull it, just to pull the bottom in to make him more even on the top and the bottom. And then when you do that, just cut it short. That way you have just a little bit left. And then push your end in, just like that. Now your Kirby is done, but for the blush, take a nice chunk of it. My yarn just fell on the floor. And then thread your needle. Hold on. My yarn decided to fall. Okay. So just place it. I like to place it through the back. And for his blush, you want it to go like pretty much from his arm to around the end, or like the middle of the eye. So pull a nice size through. We're going to go through. Think about that. Let me see. Sometimes it's hard to do the blush because the stitches won't want to go. Sorry. Okay. Just putting that in there. And then right back to the side of the next arm. Start of the next arm, excuse me. So yeah, now he's got a cute little blush. And then it's very hard to get blush even sometimes, so it'll probably be a little smaller. And then just go like that. Yeah, blush isn't completely even, but it's good enough. And yeah, and then take your needle, go straight back, and then come out of the same stitch that your yarn is currently going through. You have 2 strands coming out, but make sure you don't pull your yarn too tight, otherwise it'll like go into the plushie and you literally can't see it at all. I do that, but I don't want to mess with that too much. And then cut your yarn at the same length. Tie it. And then I also like to cut my ends short, just less to weave in. Stuff that in there, and boom. You have your little Kirby now. These are very market prep friendly. Yeah, they're super cute. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I can't wait to see all of your Kirbys. Please feel free to tag me on YouTube and Instagram. This is also a free pattern on my Instagram, but you can also buy it in a PDF version on my Etsy, along with my new roomy pattern that just came out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you love it. Yeah.